Welcome to On the Chain. This is Chip. Jeff should be joining shortly, although his internet went out today. That happens. We've had some storms in the area. But tonight, we're going to dig into stuff today. So Gary Gensler is apparently man about town, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He was in one symposium with the Aspen Council or whatever that was. I don't know. It was something on national security where he was his normal self. And then, of course, he did another thing where he did his other office hours. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about XRP. We're going to talk about crypto regulations a little bit. We're going to get into some other news too, some other happy, cheery news. And it all about the race gets started right when? Where's Jeff to say now? Let's do it. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
On the Chain, baby. Welcome On the Chain family. As you guys all start piling in here, we're going to dive into some things because today was an interesting day. Of course, I did listen to the Gary Gensler with the Aspen Institute. And my God, if you want to have if you're thinking about new ways to fall asleep at night, I would recommend playing this video. It's about 8 hours long and it is just droning. And I don't even think there was a break in between. I happened to catch a couple of them and it was like, you need toothpicks for the eyes. It was something else. But before we get started, I just want to do a giant shout out to permission.io, the sponsor of today's video. Now, there's a lot of things that you can do in life. And one of the most things you hold dear is your data. It's your data and it's your choice about how you want to share that data. One of the great things about permission is when you're out there normally surfing the internet, people are monetizing off your back, whether it's one of the social media sites or whatever. They find out your preferences, they sell ads, and they make billions. This is a way for you to earn the ASK token, the ASK, ask permission. Get it? Ask permission. You choose how you want to share your data. And once you fill out a little bit of profile, it takes about 4 or 5 minutes to get started. A browser plugin, that's going to be your wallet. And you do things like you normally would. You might see an ad, you might do a video, and you get served up something, and it's fantastic. So I wanted to say big shout out to permission.io. Link is down below, but I wanted to show you something that they set up for us here, which is pretty awesome. And I will drop this link in there, but they created a special page with some bonus ask here. So hello, On the Chain fans. As proud sponsors of the On the Chain show, we're thrilled to have you here. Ask is the cryptocurrency of change, empowering you to own your own data. Earn it from wherever you go. Earn up to 300 ask just for signing up and filling out your profile. And then there's 100 bonus for joining. And what I'm going to do is I am going to pop that I'm going to pop that link in there. So guys, go over there, click the link, get signed up. It's pretty cool stuff. I am always using it all day long. So there you go right there. And Andrew, oh, that's awesome, man. So there it is right there. Check it out. Click the link. You can fill it out after the show. Look at this right there from Andrew Handelsman. Thank you for that support. And he says, is that foo? No, I know what that is. That's F. And it's a hello, you, Gary Clayton. So I think he meant Gary Gensler, but I get what you're going there. I get you're sort of taking the Gary Gensler, Jay Clayton, Gary Clayton. It's the same thing, right? It's pretty much the same thing. And I got to show you this. So a big shout out to everybody. Drop the city and the country where you're coming from. We always love to see you. If you're watching the replay, drop it in the comments. And as we get through it, we will. Annalise is here. What's going on, Annalise? Long time no see. How are you been doing? From down under. Good to see you here tonight. And yep, yelling out Chip. Yay. And then we have Ani's here. What's up, Ani? It's great to see women back in the chat. It's nice to see that. And the OGs, Van Life, and everybody. So today was sort of a weird day because, man, on crypto Twitter, everybody's looking for Gary Gensler and what he was doing. I kind of want to jump into this a little bit because it's absolutely, I don't even know what to go. I'm probably going to go on some weird long rant today, but I want to throw a couple of videos up. Maybe we should start with, well, no, let's not start with that. Yeah, so I think what we should start off with was he dropped an office hours. This is Gary Gensler. Welcome to office hours. And they're not like kitschy music playing and, some little lounge music from the 60s. Do. So we're going to do that. I'm going to pull that up right here. And let's see, where are you? You are buried in here. And then we'll take a look at it. I want to get your thoughts. I want you to drop the thoughts in the comments there because This is what is it? I don't even know. I'm trying to think of pull up the right one here. Gensler, is this the right one? Nope, that's not the one. Here we go, right here. Yep, here we go. Here we go. And you'll notice that he still doesn't have a mic. They've got unlimited resources over there at the SEC, but no. But if you guys can't hear it, I don't have Jeff here to tell me. You have to let me know. Just if you guys can hear sound, say we hear or something like that. That gives me an indication you guys are listening. Sometimes the sound doesn't play, but here we go. Let's listen through it. It's not very long, and then we'll comment on it.
Hi, this is Gary Gensler, and welcome back to Office Hours. What does the SEC have to do with crypto? And why is the chair of the SEC talking about crypto? Now, technology has come along decade after decade, but those that have a chance to thrive, grow, come within a public policy framework. To be clear, I think that the SEC should be technology neutral. But one thing we're not neutral on is investor protection. Our agency, the SEC, has had rules for decades to protect people when companies want to raise money from them, or when we as investors buy and sell securities on an exchange like the New York Stock Exchange. But you see, crypto trading platforms, crypto lending platforms don't have the same level of investor protection that you've come to expect buying and selling stocks on a stock exchange or investing in a mutual fund or a 401k. In the years since Bitcoin was started, literally thousands of other tokens have been launched, many of which traded on platforms may well be securities under our laws. That means if the platforms and certain of the tokens don't register with the SEC, they're non-compliant with the important federal protections in our laws. So I've asked the staff of the SEC to use all of our authorities anywhere we can to uncover any wrongdoing. Our authorities aren't enough. I've also recommended to Congress for them to consider filling those gaps with the goal of investor protection. To those currently or considering investing in crypto, please remember, not only are they a highly speculative asset class, but there are also significant gaps in the investor protection afforded to you. I think that moving forward, promoting investor protection is not only good for you and for anyone who would consider investing in these assets. I think that it's the only real viable path forward for this nascent technology. See, at the heart of finance is trust, and trust rests on investor protection. And so that's what the SEC has to do with crypto, investor protection.
Oh my gosh. So where do we start unpacking this video? This is a disaster from start to finish. He's really concerned about investors, especially when why is this chairman of the SEC talking about crypto? I don't know, because crypto is not a security. That's the first thing right there. And if we unpack it and we look at it from start to finish, I just have all kinds of issues with that video itself. Look, it's fun that he's doing these little videos. Hi, it's Gary Gensler. Welcome to Office Hours. Yeah, that's great. The first one was on climate risk. This one, he probably took so much heat. He's like, I think I have to put the next one out about cryptocurrency. But it's all over the place. I mean, he's basically saying that what he can do is regulate. He's like, we're going to put all the staff behind there. We're going to set it as many resources as we possibly can. And you have to register with the SEC. Now, if you guys remember, on one of the early hearings, Tenero, the attorney representing the SEC, it came up in a conversation where he's like, well, hey, why don't you, why didn't you guys register? And then the Ripple attorney is like, that's not a security. We don't have to register. We're not bound to register. We don't have to follow the rules. And I think that's really, we had a congressman basically come on and say, I don't know what the SEC is involved with in this anyway. I think it was Pat Toomey out of PA, but he's like, why are they even involved? It's not a security. Now, there will be instances where it can be a security, understood, in an EFT or something like that. Yeah, there's positions where it can. But what he was saying today was very disturbing on a lot of different fronts. Today, when he was talking, he was being interviewed, and he kind of came off as arrogant. It could have been masking feelings of maybe he was just nervous. I don't know, but he seemed very arrogant. And I want to play a couple little clips of that. But before we jump into that, so Oscar Aramson, which I hope I'm getting that name right. I hope so. He did his own little version of the video here today. Tag Jeff and I on this today, and I like his version better. It's shorter and it's pretty much on point. But this is let me see, where is it? This is Oscar's version of it. It's a very short, and I think it's perfect, right? From start to finish, I think it tells the story. Let's play it. Well, Oscar, are you in there today? Are you in the chat? There he is right there. Yeah, this is him right here. Boom, right there. This is a great, let's play this clip. And I have to say that you nailed it, okay? That's all I'm going to say ahead of time. So let's put this on there and let's watch it. Here we go.
What does the SEC have to do with crypto?
Nothing. Nothing. It's perfect. Nothing. That's it. That's it. Sometimes it's that simple. Okay, let's watch it again in case you missed it, okay? Perfect video.
What does the SEC have to do with crypto?
Nothing. Exactly right. Yeah, it basically has nothing to do with crypto because, again, most of us don't view it as being a security. If it's not a security, then why are we going so crazy about, why does he have to have it? Why do they have to have their finger on everything? Also, he said some things today, and I'll play another little clip. This is something that Jungle Link had tweeted out. And he was basically saying, let me see if I can get his right here. He said on this particular clip we're going to listen to, he said, with all due respect, Chairman Gensler, you can laugh just like Clayton, but investors, industry, and even your own commissioners have been begging for more clarity. It is the SEC's job to provide exactly that. If your policy was clear, you wouldn't need to hide behind your own opinion. Oh, it's my own opinion. It's not really the SEC. No, you guys have it all wrong. Not the SEC. It's just me, Gary Gensler. So let's go ahead and pull that clip up. And I know where I can find it in here because I always name these clips. You guys don't get to see the funny names I attach to them. Like one's Oscar's Gensler. That's spot on. This one here I named Arrogant Gensler because it pretty much nails his attitude here. But let's listen to this one. Let's put this puppy up there. And let's listen. Here we go.
With all respect, we've been awfully clear on a bunch of this stuff. So I'm pushing back a little bit with all respect. And is that...
So the question is that being asked there is about cryptocurrency. He's been asked about regulations, right? And first of all, one of those things when you look up here, you're looking for the next thing to say. It's a body language thing. You're like, you're fumbling with the hands. All due respect. All due respect. You do that side of thing. And then you're looking for the words. And what am I going to do? I'm going to get into this whole thing. I'm going to do something. So let's listen to what he says. I'm going to back it up just so we can all due respect.
And Michael, with all respect, we've been awfully clear on a bunch of this stuff.
Have you?
So I'm pushing back a little bit with all respect. and is that I think that Jay Clayton was pretty clear 4 years ago, or
was he?
3.5 years ago.
Oh.
I think 75 cases in this area, and you can go to the SEC website and see them. And then clear.
So he's like, we've been pretty clear about it. We've been clear all along. Well, that's weird. I'm going to be honest with you guys, because if I recall, it was just 2 weeks ago when you had Hester Pierce, an SEC commissioner, and you also had Roisman, another SEC commissioner, who basically responded to another case, and they basically said, there's no clarity. We don't know what's going on in the space. It's incredibly, nobody knows what it is, right? So in July of 2021, 2 commissioners do not know what's going on as far as clarity and all this stuff. And he's all like, yeah, listen, boom, 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 he's doing all this kind of stuff. And no, I'm sorry, Mr. Gensler, I'm disagreeing with what you're saying here. I'm not buying it at all. It's very thin. Let's listen in a little bit here. Let's listen to the rest of it.
I think the Dow report in 2017, the Munchie order late in 2017.
That's it.
And Michael, with the website and see them have been clear. I think the Dow report in 2017.
Everything's been so clear. As a matter of fact, it's been so clear that it turns out that Ripple is enacting the fair notice, because 8.5 years goes by and apparently nobody knew anything about digital assets being a security. And what happened? Well, pretty simple. We got to find out what happened very soon. And it turns out that nobody still knows. And he's like, we've been very clear. I mean, Jay Clayton was clear 3, 4, 7, 8, 10 years ago. We all knew about it. And no, Jay Clayton wasn't clear. Jay Clayton would go on TV shows and say, we will prosecute to the fullest. We will hammer you. And, Gensler's kind of turned into sort of one of these goofy guys too. He's like, yeah, we will use every part of the SEC. We need more staff. We need more people to be able to go after this. And that's kind of where he's coming from. And it's kind of pathetic. It's really, really bad and pathetic. So on his tweet where he talked about this, he said what he's not neutral about, and again, it was in the video, was investor protection. Well, that's weird because the last time I checked in with John Deaton, there's roughly 19,000 people, XRP investors, who are hodling strong. And guess what happened? Well, it turns out that 19,000 plus wanted to sign to intervene with John Deaton, with his motion to intervene. And they're not happy about it. And do you guys feel protected? Not feeling protected. Did you feel protected? Nobody feels protected. That's the whole point of this thing. Not protected at all. Wait a minute. I hear Jeff. Jeff, you there? Let's put you in there.
Yeah, what's up? What is up, good people?
What is up, person? Why are we just talking
what
about?
Is up, person? Holy cow!
You got to miss some of the intro stuff. It's so weird when I'm on the side.
Man, is this a weird spot to be in?
Well, when you don't have your when you don't have your internet. So,
I didn't even think I was gonna make it here. I swear, I've been like no internet since 2 o'clock, and nowhere around me is there internet. So I had to drive all the way here to get internet.
But it's good though, man. It's all good.
It's good, man. I got 5G. It's solid.
So we played the Gary Gensler clip. And, when he was talking about his office hours and how he's so concerned about investors, and he really cares, Jeff. He really, he cares. And I gotta show you this one here. So many tweets open here. Let's see. My goodness, I probably can't find it now. Whatever. But somebody had brought up, and I wanted to put the tweet up, but somebody brought up that Gensler cares so much. When he was doing this, it looked like he had handcuffs on. He's doing this thing in the video. He's like, and someone thought like he had like handcuffs, and I was like, that's pretty appropriate. It kind of did feel like he had like some kind of handcuffs in there or something. But I wanted to play this one here because this one here, Jeff, it's my favorite one. This is by Oscar, and probably gonna butcher the last name. Aronson, is that it? But anyway, I named this one Oscar's clip, and this one right here, Jeff, we're gonna play it right here. It really nails it. It's short and sweet, and I just love the way it.
What does the SEC have to do with crypto?
Nothing. That's what it has to do with crypto. Absolutely nothing. Thank you for that, Oscar.
Nothing. You gotta love that.
Just nothing. Pretty simple. It's not a lot. It's just nothing. There's nothing there, Jeff. It's just ridiculous. Let me put this on. This is Rob XRP. What's up, Rob? Always putting out the great tweets out there. Also has a Patreon, does really good stuff. Great person in the space to know. He says, I would love to have an expert at body language analysis. Look at Gensler's talk today. It'd be valuable to the community. When I was making fun of him because he was going like, with all due respect, and he's like looking up, trying to grab the word. What am I doing? Where am I going?
Yeah, with all due respect. Put the teleprompter in front of him. Had they put the teleprompter, he would have been all set.
Well, yeah, he didn't have the teleprompter, and he didn't have the cool music. So he didn't have that cool, kitschy music in front of him. And here it is right here. This is Attack Titan at the Glimmerman 00. This is it right here. This one, he kind of nailed it here. Let's put the share screen on here. There we go. So this is the one I was talking about. He goes, he thinks he's talking to the general public. He doesn't realize or accept that the crypto community is made up some of the smartest people in society, and the smartest people, Jeff, where are they located? Right here on the chain.
On the chain.
Yeah, I thought you froze up. I was going to freeze too, and everybody's like, what happened to the show? Dead air. No, it's just playing. So on the chain, trust is earned. It's not demanded and enforced. Because this whole thing was about at the heart of it is finance, is trust. And you see his hands right there? So it's funny how his hands
are. What is that? What's up with the face?
You see how his hands are positioned like for handcuffs when he says trust?
It's
there's
really
some
strange.
really smart people. Well, he's a stranger.
Is he doing that on purpose, or do you think they planned that? Is that
I
like
don't
a
know,
planned
Jeff.
position? Does anybody sit
was-
like this? I've
He was
never
doing
in my life done that ever.
well, unless you got the handcuffs on, but he was doing this throughout the thing, and he goes, "The heart of the finance is trust," you know, and it's a really great observation by Attack Titan here. It's like, yeah, they are positioned like that. It wasn't, you know, he's an odd duck to begin with, you know. He's a goofy guy. What are you going to do, man? He is what it is, and it's like that's what it does. There it is right there. SEC equals the clown posse. I agree with that. Extreme boy. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, I see some of that. Book 'em, Dano. There you go. A little Hawaii 5-0 lingo there. 5-0.
What's going on the chat?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going
See
on
if I can
happening.
see it. I can't see the chat. Oh, I'm in the private.
Can't see the chat either, man. Jeff, what's going on, man?
No, I can see it right here, but I got to look on my phone. I'm on my phone still.
Right there. So maybe
not so exciting.
There's Oscar right there. Oscar Armanson, right? He says maybe Gensler was trying to do a heart sign with his hands, but struggled. I don't know about that. I don't see him as a heart kind of a guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like that kind of a heart guy.
He's like the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz.
He kind of like is the Tin Man in the Wizard of Oz. That's kind of like, except without the makeup. But yeah, I mean, I could see that. Put the little funnel on the top of his head. It's a good thing.
There you go.
Yeah, let's just play that little clip at the back there because I wanted to. Let's pull this up on the office hours. I'm just going to play that last part of it because I want to see I want to get another look at these famous hands. And let's take a look at them. Let's go. Let's go.
Hi, this is Gary.
Okay, Gary, chill out. Chill out.
Let's go, Gary.
Let's see what he talks
the
talking about
G-Man.
trust.
Let's call him G. What's up,
There it
G?
is. Here it is. Here it is right here.
What's up, the G-Man?
Look at this.
G-Man, Gary Gensler. GG.
I think the only real viable path forward with this nascent technology.
For this nascent technology. See, at the heart of finance is trust. And trust rests on investor protection. And so that's what the SEC has to do with crypto, investor protection.
I see. It's the representation of the coming together. Most people do this. It's trust. You're intertwined with one another.
Trust.
Here, trust. You're magnetic. It's almost like there's a confrontation of trust. The banging of heads. Yeah, I don't understand that gesture. That doesn't trust. 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 You're binding together. You're coming together. This isn't. I don't see this as trust. I mean, does anybody do that? Anybody out there? Is this like a international symbol of trust, or is this more like
it was
coming together?
You know what it is? You know what it is? You go, you got to have trust. Okay. And then you'll release it. But he was doing trust. You know, he has to have trust. It was so forced.
But it was more like, but it wasn't like, there was no finger intertwining.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't know. It was an odd thing today. I mean, the whole thing was, I got to be honest with you, the whole thing was just,
very strange.
He was talking about investor protection, and I mean, I quite honestly don't even understand what's going on. And so in this other video, what he was going on about was like, well, look at the investor protection, and he goes, well, we've look at all the cases we prosecuted, 70 cases, and they're on the SEC website, and you can go look. I'm like, okay, man, we don't need to look at them. We kind of know what's going on over the SEC. Guys are kind of just running a little bit mad with your shoelaces untied, right, Jeff?
That's right.
Which we don't need to see all that.
Untied or tied together, one or the other.
Yeah, one of the two. Nobody cares. It's like, yeah, the whole thing is just it's a nutter. So let's jump into this thing here. I want to go in a little bit of this because here we go. Yeah, so he also had an interview with Bloomberg today. He was everywhere, Jeff. So there
was a lot going. There were so many articles that came out in around the whole Gensler thing. He's made some really, really outlandish statements today too.
Yes, he has. Look at this. So here's one right here. Here's SEC. Here's the SEC boss. Gensler eyeing robust regulation of crypto market report. Gensler did not comment on the potential approval of a crypto exchange traded fund, but he kept talking about his good pal, Jay Clayton. And what did Jay Clayton just file recently? Well, he filed a very carbon neutral and ticks all the boxes of the first office hours video where he was worried about climate risk. And so that's the first ETF where Clayton over at One River, I believe it is, that he's stepping forward and saying, hey, let's So he was talking about, when I met Gary when I was at MIT, he's always name dropping MIT, and I used to teach crypto classes, and
At MIT,
it's on the internet.
I was there. It's on the internet, but yet he's relatively crypto neutral.
He's technology neutral in that video. He says he's technology neutral. Well, I don't know what that means.
Technology and crypto neutral.
I would say neutered is a better word because he seems quite neutered about almost everything, mostly to common sense. But Gensler said in an interview with Bloomberg on Tuesday, his interest in crypto does not mean he will take hands-off regulatory approach, for which many in this space were hoping.
How do you like that? Hands off. He's not going to go hands off. He's going all in, and he's going to dissect this.
He's doing this.
He's going to crush it. He's not this. He's going to grab it and he's going to crush it.
Wait, while I'm neutral on the technology, I'm even intrigued. Oh, please.
Intrigued about how you can dissect it, tear it apart.
Right? I spent 3 years teaching it. Name drop, MIT. Leaning into
Jeff,
it.
Has he taught at MIT by any chance?
I'm not sure, Jeff. He's talked about that before? Well, I'm neutral on technology. I'm intrigued. I spent 3 years teaching it, leaning into it. I'm not neutral about. I'm not neutral about investor protection. Meanwhile, he erased billions of dollars from people's hard-earned money in their investment in XRP. That is one.
Is this the article where he came out and said you need the regulation and you need a cop on the beat, or is that was a different article?
I think there was another one. Yeah,
where he's asking Congress for more power for the SEC. That was
that one was the Aspen Institute. Boy, is that a waste of time. My God.
Yeah, there's a couple articles in there in the Keep from Yahoo and some of the others.
So, and part of that, so Garlinghouse is going to be on tomorrow. He's going to be speaking, and they're virtual, but imagine if it was a conference and, Gary's up there on stage and he's like, and all due respect, there's tons of clarity around cryptocurrency. And all of a sudden and then can you imagine this, Jeff? Like, this is what I picture it sitting in the audience like this. Badass stare that Garlinghouse will do. He's like,
really?
Like, he's just like, I'm looking at you. And he's like, he's like scanning the crowd. And all of a sudden he locks eyes with Garlinghouse, who stares him down.
They should have put them on the same panel.
That would have been awesome. Great. It's like, oh, we had a last minute cancellation, but guess what? We got Brad Garlinghouse. Yay! Can you imagine? That would have been awesome. Now, that's something people would be excited about. You're like, get the popcorn out. And I actually think Garlinghouse would have destroyed him because he would have been like, hey, all due respect. Did you see that video, Jeff?
I did. You gonna put it up again?
I don't want to put it up again. I don't want to torture people again. It's too much. But let's jump back into this. He says, nor did he comment on the potential approval of crypto exchange traded fund despite the long list of applications the regulator received. Now, interestingly enough, Jay Clayton received a couple of those applications and said no. Now, Jay Clayton is the one who's getting on Twitter and saying, guess what we just did today? We filed the carbon neutral, ticks all the boxes of all the nutters and the climate risk and all blah, blah, blah. And Jeff, what's the over under on that being the first one to go through? Seriously, it's got to be.
I'm going to go 50-50 because they've been postponing. Yeah, they've been postponing the ETFs. The others, I would go with a lower, maybe like 25% in this current climate. But if you had to push any of them first, then I would go with that one. Probably give it a good 75%.
Yeah, and the Jay Clayton, because Jay Clayton, he said it was his buddy, and they're pals because he knew him from MIT or whatever. And
of course, yeah. When he was teaching at MIT, or did he go to MIT as well?
That part is it hasn't been expressed really in so many words, Jeff. So nobody really knows.
Did they meet at a conference over coffee?
Who knows, man?
Ran into each other in the hallways.
And this is funny right here. Look at this one here. It says Gensler's appointment as the SEC chair was met with a positive reaction from large swaths of the crypto community. Well, that soon faded. That lasted about 6 seconds, right? Given the consensus that he understands cryptocurrency, yeah, in a way that few others do in his field. And that's working out really well, isn't it, Jeff? In fact, that he understands it so incredibly well. Yeah, I got a little fury, and I put some tweets out today.
Well, the fact that he doesn't understand it or the fact that he understands it or taught at MIT still doesn't really mean that he has the analytic capabilities to understand the long-term potential, even though he's come out and he's stated, referencing this one article that I threw into the Keep, he's talking about Bitcoin. He's talking about, actually, he didn't even reference Bitcoin. He just talked about Nakamoto's innovation. Has a long-term capability, but doesn't even really reference Bitcoin, you know. So the guy, he's neutral. You know, the guy's carbon neutral, he's crypto neutral, man, he's mentally neutral. I don't know.
It's all over the place. So I got a little crazy today on the crypto Twitter, and I put this one up. It's like, hey, Gary Gensler is just another government shill, a standard run-of-the-mill typical government employee. He had an opportunity to make a splash as the new chairman of the SEC and be a hero. Gensler is not a friend of crypto. Another poor performance today, and that was on Rob XRP, where he said Gary Gensler spent some of his time making jokes instead of answering serious questions concerning XRP and ETH. The way he acts is ridiculous and reflects the state of affairs at the SEC.gov. The reflection is shame. Shame for trying to destroy innovation. History will remember Gary Gensler. History will remember you. Not fondly either. But they might even remember that he taught at MIT. Nobody knows at this point, Chuck. But so yeah, there was a little bit of apparently I'm not. So it was a little bit of, you know, what do you want to call it? As they say, piss and vinegar. It was pretty insane. Now check this out. I want to show you guys this because Daniel from Casinocoin said this. He says, as we would say in Germany, was Darf satire? Yeah, it sounds almost like satire, this office hours, right? And
I think it is. Even with the graphics they put up there, it is a little bit satiric.
It is a little bit weird. Now, by the way, Daniel is, if you guys don't know who he is, let me pull up his bio here. Here he is right there. He is this chief tech officer. He's doing blockchain things, but he is heavily involved with one amazing project that is connected to the XRPL. That project is named Casinocoin, and Daniel will be here on the chain on Thursday night.
Thursday, how exciting is that?
Yeah, we're super excited to get Daniel on there. I know we've been trying to work this out, but yeah, Casinocoin, you guys have asked for him. You guys have wanted him to come on here. Daniel is, you know, kind enough to do it because he's gonna, I believe he's already moved to the Isle of Man in the UK there, and it's gonna be late. And he's like, no, I want to do the live thing. I want to be live. I want to engage with people. I want questions. So we'll put that out tomorrow. Give people a chance to kind of come on here and hang out with Daniel. But again, that's going to be a really looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's a phenomenal story. If you guys want, just go over there and Google. There's a really short documentary was done, but it's kind of a good precursor to the interview. But if you guys just go to Google, I'll find it here and I'll drop it in the chat. It's a YouTube video. It hasn't had that much views, but it's really well done and executed. Short, it's not you say documentary. You're like, oh, Chip, do I have to sit there 17 minutes?
A lot of people are excited about the Casinocoin too. It's a lot of.
I'm excited about it.
A lot of discussion, a lot of excitement, and it's available through Zum, through the Zum wallet.
Yeah, and one of the cool things last night is, you know, Daniel also, this is what I'd like to do is go hang out at some beer gardens at Oktoberfest in Germany, you know, in Munich or something, and just do something like that because he also gave us he also sent us about 20 XRP the other night when he was watching a show.
Sweet.
And so we finally got the on the chain tip bot hooked up, so we could actually claim that. So that was pretty cool. And also, you know, the other thing too is I've received a lot of Casinocoin from you guys, and it's cool because you create.
Let me know if the vacuums get too loud.
Is somebody vacuuming? Oh, is it the cleaning crew, Jeff?
The offices, yeah. They're vacuuming all over the place.
If you have your crisp on, I don't hear anything. It sounds like silence.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool.
No, I don't hear it all. And you're like, okay. You're like, you lift your foot up, lift the other foot up.
Well, they're not in here. I got the door closed in here, but they're out there somewhere. They're right out in the area.
Yeah, so pretty excited about Daniel coming on tomorrow, which is really, really sweet. And one other thing I wanted to say, let's see. I know that Ani was asking about this earlier, and I saw that, but I didn't get a chance to drop it. But she was like, she dropped it in there, Jeff, for real. I'm not making this up. She said, where's the link to Chip's music? Oh, there it is. It's right there. Yeah, if you go to nojoyyet.com, it'll resolve there. But if you go to nojoyyet.com, that's the name of my band, my
And if you
project.
guys are really good, Chip might even sing something.
I'm not going to sing something, but I will. You can listen to me all day long. You can listen to my musings and my writings.
You can tune into Spotify.
You can tune into Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music. What else? All the places where you would listen to it. It's on Spotify, man. Go check it out. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Annalise is here too tonight. We got Reg. Reg is in the house too. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Here it is right here. Veritas Equitas Semper says defund the SEC, give the money back to the investors harmed by them. Hey, that's shaping up as a solid idea, Jeff. What do you think about that?
Good idea.
You are low energy today, Jeff. You are Jeb Bush, and man, you are so low energy, man. What's going on?
I'm out of my element in here. Like, I'm like in a pack and ship room over here.
Jeff, if you get lonely, there's the lemon tree right there. Take a look at it. It'll bring you back to your happy place.
I got no nothing.
I know that is kind of like the weird lemon tree. I might have to like move it because I got another one down the in the other room, but I might have to move it since you guys had such a rough time with that lemon tree. You didn't like it too much.
There's boxes all around. Everywhere I can look, there's boxes.
Yeah, so I had Gensler. I do like the little I do like the music though, Jeff. I have to do something, take off on that. But here we go. Hey, tell me more about investor protection for XRP investors. Obviously, no investor protection there, Mr. Gary Gensler.
There. He wasn't not so concerned there. He's pretty neutral, if I would say. He's very
neutral. I would say sleeping, Jeff.
In regards very neutral in regards to the XRP investors. Asleep. He's definitely asleep at the wheel. He was neutral and then he fell asleep at the wheel. Neutral at the wheel.
Oh, this is do we want to talk about this infrastructure bill? Is that something you put in here to talk about?
Yeah, I put that in there mainly because if you look at Senator Toomey, Toomey had some commentary on it. And there's two. I forget, I think I put that Toomey article, the one on top. But if you look at it, it's really crazy because I was looking at your thumbnail, right? SEC, XRP, or Ripple, and you've got settlement in that bear trap, right?
Yeah.
And so if you take this idea, you got the SEC on one side, fighting to get more control. So Gensler is begging Congress to do something. We've been begging Congress to do something and get active. The Token Taxonomy Act has been sitting there. Gensler is begging Congress to bring more regulatory initiatives to give the SEC more power and more control over cryptocurrency. They've already given them control over the environment. Not sure how that's working out or why, but now they want to talk about crypto. He wants more power over crypto because he thinks there's thousands of crypto assets out there that are securities. But now you have this infrastructure bill. All this stuff happening simultaneously in this infrastructure bill, and we've talked a little bit about it. They packed it with garbage, and they packed it with some, kind of last minute, let's throw something in there. Let's try to find a way to regulate cryptocurrency, and let's just toss it in. No one's even going to notice, and it's going to be voted on because everybody in the world wants $3.5 trillion in infrastructure bill when only 8% or so of it is going towards actual infrastructure. The rest, who knows where they're going to spend the other 3.5 trillion. But let's throw in some taxation while we're at it. And then they come out and say, oh, well, no, we're talking about taxes for everybody except for miners and developers. But Toomey then points out very succinctly that it's so vague and ambiguous, which is what you would expect because it was a last minute thought. Let's just cram it in there. Kind of like, who was it? Maxine Waters and a few of the others tried to cram in the digital dollar into the rescue plan last year. Like, yeah, we want to give people bailouts because we shut down the economy for months on end. And took us months to figure this thing out, but we're going to cram in this US dollar and call it regulation over cryptocurrency. They just want to shove it down your throat, without anyone actually understanding it. And Chip, that's what Toomey was pointing out, is that nobody understands what they put in there.
No,
it's not good. It's not good business, not good practice.
Jeff, I'll be honest with you. It takes me a while to get through one of these articles. Got dissect it. It's like they all coded words. Just the stuff we put up on a nightly basis. I'm like, what are we saying, right? That thing's like 2,600 pages long, and it's all written in legalese and gobbledygook, and you can't even get through. It's like you're on page 9, and you're like, drinking coffee, trying to stay awake. I mean, this is the thing. You got to search for keywords in there. That's what I had to do. I mean, James Rule posted it.
Page 2122, paragraph 3, subsection 6.
No, it's ponderous, Jeff. I mean, so James Rule put it up. He sent it over to me, and I looked at it, and I typed in one keyword, and it was 1,000 of them. I'm like, I'm not going through that. I'm like, just close the document. I'm like, I don't. And that's what happens. You got to pass it to find out what's in it. But this right here is a phenomenal headline right there. This is Ingram battles GOP senator who backs his infrastructure bill. You guys got played on this. That is that's Cassidy, dude. That's Bill Cassidy.
He got played. But look at the GOP that voted for it. They didn't just get played; they bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. And she's referencing the rest of everybody else. It's like, come on, it's a bipartisan bill with 4 of them on it.
Yeah,
and none of them really care.
Yeah, and not only that,
$3.5 trillion in infrastructure bill. It's destructive to the economy, Chip. And it's going to destroy crypto while they're at it.
Yeah. Well, yesterday we were going through what was going to go on at the Aspen Institute, and who do they have? They have the people that are on their way out. They're gone next year. Out. They had everybody on that list who was speaking. It's like, let's give them a speaking gig, and they're going to be gone. That's like soon the ex-B senator from Alaska, soon the ex-senator from Wyoming. You know what I mean?
It's a who's who, Chip.
It's a who's who. It's like, at least we know where you stand, and we will primary. We get you guys out of there. It's insane the way that some of the stuff that they're doing.
They have no passion about crypto. They're all out for themselves. Those clowns, And it's, if they really cared about cryptocurrency and innovation, if Gensler really cared about it, you're right. His number one initiative would have been to discuss and analyze cryptocurrency and regulatory normalcy, not over-regulation, not begging Congress for more SEC jurisdiction beyond the security. His jurisdiction, Securities Exchange Commission, SEC. I don't see anything outside of SEC, not environment, not anything outside of the CFTC, maybe, Chip. FinCEN said it was a currency. It's spendable.
FinCEN seems a little more level-headed. SEC is because I have to tell you, there was a bright spot. Unfortunately, I just ran out of time today. But whoever, not the person that was running that today, I'm gonna have to. I'll pull up the video, but I want to find it because she was awesome. She was relentless, and she was laughing along with him. But she was trying to nail him on some really serious questions, and he was like, "I want to make sure that I'm in. Don't want to embarrass myself in front of you." Some stupid thing like that. And he's like, I know you tried to get it in there again. I loved it, man. She was a honey badger today. She was honey badgering all over the place. And I mean, she was phenomenal. And that's the one part that I wanted to play. So I'm going to have to.
So before you do that, go ahead, pull up the Paul Murray statement. He put in a comment. It's really good. I don't know if you can find it.
Where's the Paul Murray comment? I see the Pablo comment. Where did you put it in?
No, it's in the chat. Paul Murray's in the chat.
Oh, okay. So which one is it?
Paul Murray. This is Wall Street BS.
Okay, that's that.
I'll read it while you're looking for it. This is Wall Street BS. They want it all defined as a security, so the public is pushed out, and you have to buy crypto through a broker. Crypto finished in the U.S. Get out while you can. So some good statements there. I don't think it's finished here. I think, the fight is still ongoing. We're not giving up anytime soon, and these guys definitely won't win. But I think he's spot on with that statement that they want it defined under the guise of a security exactly to keep the public out. Just like if you think about, how they orchestrate so many things. Look, you have to be an accredited investor to get into pre-IPOs. You have to, there's all these different rules and regulations that benefit people that already have huge amounts of money because they're protecting you as an investor. They're protecting you as the little guy, because the little guy, if he doesn't have $1 million in net worth and X amount of dollars to, spend and invest based on the accredited investors rules and regulations, they're obviously not smart enough to invest, right, Chip? So the SEC has to be there to protect them. They have to protect the little guy from the big bad wolf that are these corporations, because we're not smart enough to read through and understand, the financials of a company and go through all of that and understand stock charts and investing. And we can't understand in the crypto space because according to the SEC, they said XRP investors just aren't technically savvy enough to understand what's going on. So I think that's a solid point. Very insulting, over and over and over again. And
Right.
man, how do you trust them when they're constantly insulting you? Constantly insulting you. That's why, from a political perspective, I look at it the same way. I'm like, man, there's one party out there that is constantly insulting the integrity and the intelligence of the people out there. And you guys can figure it out for yourselves, who I'm talking about. And he just fits right into that same narrative. He's just still insulting, still going after it because he's saying he's protecting the investor when we all know that he really isn't. Because if he was, he would have a completely different approach. That's my take on it, Chip.
That was solid.
No.
I'm trying to find this, but this video was 7 hours long. So it's like you're trying to scroll through it. And yeah, it's just, let's see if I can. Oh, here it is. Here it is right here. I did find it. Let me throw this up here. I want to get her name. She was absolutely, if anybody, well, Jeff, can you pull anything up over there or you cannot?
No, I can barely see the comments.
Okay, that's something. That's good. Thank you very much. Play along, everybody at home. So let me just share the screen. I will do
Van Life
tab.
Biker said, "Listen up, Jeff. Woke up again."
Jeff is awake. Here we go. So here we go. So this is the one right here. She was fantastic. Her name is Anja. Anja Manuel, whatever. She's fantastic.
Yeah, solid.
Let's listen in here. Let's listen.
Tend to be along a number of themes. And then I know we've got some distinguished members of the audience that will call up and ask as well.
Sure.
The first one is, I noticed you made a comment early in your speech that said the probability is that with 50 plus tokens that most of them are securities. The Q&A exploded into understandably, well, how do we know which one is a security, which one isn't? Why did Ethereum and Bitcoin get a free pass? And do you believe that's still appropriate, even though Ethereum, many people believe, was an ICO?
Ooh.
Are you going to keep doing this regulation through litigation, which is what currently is going on, or are you going to set some clear criteria so people in the market will know if they're issuing a security or if something has become a real currency or a commodity because it has a real use case?
Boom, Chip. We need to get her on the chain.
Jeff, this right here.
I couldn't have said it better than that myself.
This was the bright point today when I saw her go after him. By the way, a lot of people believe that Ethereum was an ICO. I was like, that's what you call bitch slapping right there. And then a couple of throat punches. She was fantastic, so much so that I just almost want to rewind that and just play a little bit of that again.
And who is she saying that to, Chip?
She's saying that to Mr. Gary Gensler.
Was that why he's standing like this?
And then he's like
terrified. He filmed his
YouTube
YouTube thing afterwards, and he's terrified. He's like, she's gonna come out of here again, and she's gonna smack me. She's like, he's like, ah.
Okay, so what she was saying was she
terrified.
starts off saying, I'm going to combine some questions because this was the Q&A version of it. But let's listen to this again because this is right the brilliant spot of all the stuff that happened today. She was relentless. She just kept hitting him. She wasn't backing down. Let's just watch. Let's play it all the way through.
Tend to be along a number of themes. And then I know we've got some distinguished members of the audience that will call up and ask as well.
Sure.
The first one is, I noticed you made a comment early in your speech that said the probability is that with 50 plus tokens that most of them are securities. The Q&A exploded into understandably, well, how do we know which one is a security, which one isn't? Why did Ethereum and Bitcoin get a free pass? And do you believe that's still appropriate, even though Ethereum, many people believe, was an ICO? Are you going to keep doing this regulation through litigation, which is what currently is going on, or are you going to set some clear criteria so people in the market will know if they're issuing a security or if something has become a real currency or a commodity because it has a real use case.
So
Boom,
it's a
like
great
that.
set. I know you're combining different people's questions. It's a great set of questions. Let me say, I think there's
Great.
actually a fair amount
Great
of clarity. And why did I quote Jay Clayton to say it crosses chairs, it crosses party lines, it crosses different philosophies? I mean, Jay and I really met as he was in this
At
job.
MIT.
And, he was in his job and I was at MIT.
Of course.
I think there's a lot of clarity, this Howey test and these other tests, Reeves test. There's something called Gary Plastic, not Gary Gensler. There's a number of tests that.
Jeff, he is absolutely out of his mind. There's enough clarity. Come on, Jeff. There's enough clarity on you. What are you talking about? There's enough clarity. My God, the previous chair and,
The previous chair and the other chair and the Rev test. And this
and the
other
Gary
test,
chair, but not
the
the Gary that, the Gary plastic. I mean,
the Gary Indiana chair from Gary
Ooh.
Indiana.
Right. So let's watch what she comes back. This is great.
Really is quite clear. What I'm trying to say about the
not clear.
platforms,
No.
and then I'll get to your point about
No, he doesn't get to it.
regulation by
The only thing they
litigation, I
can
think
regulate
was
are the
what Don just
exchanges.
said.
How about that?
Yeah. Actually, it's a question that I think came from John Burton and Julie Globus.
Right there, John and Julie. But I think that the platforms, look, if you have 3 or 5 tokens, I'm not going to judge any one token. It's facts and circumstances. I'm not going to judge any one token on this open WebEx. It's possible. But when you get to 25, 50, 100 tokens, probabilities are it's pretty unlikely that all 50, all 100 don't pass the Howey test. And why is that? The Howey tested is core, 3-part test, but the Howey tested, did you give somebody money in anticipation of profits on their efforts? Now, usually there's a handful of people at the center of these XYZ project or ABC project. I'm not going to use names. There's usually a handful of entrepreneurs and technologists that, in effect, the investor is hoping those people do well. So that means anticipation of profits on the efforts of others.
He's wrong, by the way.
I think it's kind of just like reasonably clear. I would say very clear.
It's so reasonable, very clear.
Now, in terms of the enforcement, yes, we're going to use our enforcement authorities as my predecessors did 6 or 7 dozen times. And we'll continue to do that. What I'm also saying to those platforms, come in and discuss it with us, get registered, work with us and work with Congress if there's things that, might be appropriately shifted in our laws, additional authorities or adjustments. That's what new technologies come along. Internet came along in the 1990s and the SEC did do some adjustments.
He's babbling, Jeff. He's trying to run the clock out on her.
The SEC did it some adjustment. Then internet came along. all the SEC did is they got involved when there were certain companies with their IPOs, whatever, and they're supposed to stop fraud. That's it. Is it a security? Not a security. Crypto in itself, if it's a currency, it's not. So from his perspective, then, just throwing it out there, a lot of these meme coins don't fit the Howey test. Dogecoin doesn't fit the Howey test, Chip. It doesn't. People are investing in it. What's he going to say about Dogecoin? Is it a fraud coin? Is it a scam coin? How many Ponzi schemes are out there? I'm sure there's quite a few Ponzi schemes that are out there with the interest and the staking and the whatever, and keep getting people to buy into it because that's the only thing that's keeping it floating, and those have been around for. It's not unique to crypto. So single those out because the laws are on the books. You don't need new controls and regulation to find those types of Ponzi schemes. Find them, sort them out. It's not clear what's a security and what's not because Congress hasn't provided the clarity. They haven't opened it up. That's why Senator Toomey came out and said, you can't package. You can't just all of a sudden have some discussion and throw it into the infrastructure bill. It's too complex. So now all of a sudden it's super complex, but yet Gary Gensler, it's clear. It's actually very clear. He's the ABC XRP token.
This is absolutely embarrassing. He goes, it's clear. And the Howey test the Howey test that was invented, they had no idea of technology. I mean, back in even in the 40s, that stuff didn't happen until late 40s. That is big punch cards, and come on, man, this whole thing is just an
Dude,
absolute.
computers back in those days were the
Yeah, they took up the size of a room, and the giant punch cards they used to throw in there did nothing. It's
how cool was that? You
it's
see them
awesome,
on the movies and be like,
all the lights
feed the
blinking.
computer, and they'd stick right.
Yeah, it's so cool, right? But he's absolutely out of his mind, and
Processing.
and in this, look at this. I just want to listen to a little more of this here.
It's under a great leader, Arthur Levitt. And Congress also weighs in from time to time. It shouldn't
Not
just be
often, though.
static, but I'm saying I think a lot of this is clearer than some of the entrepreneurs would like to think.
Right there,
With
shoving
all
it.
respect. With all respect.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
all
you're focusing
respect,
on the-
shoving it up in their face again, Jeff. Well, some
Yep.
of the entrepreneurs out there, you know, I'm
He's
an
so-
academic. I've been at MIT, and I'm the former CFTC chair. So,
Dude, he shows
we-
himself to be an academic too. The
Right.
way, with all respect, I know
with
what
all-
I'm talking
with
about.
all
You-
respect,
You obviously don't. The people that are innovating and building in the space, with all due respect, they just don't understand because they want it to be a certain way. But I know because I used to teach at MIT for 3 years because
matter.
MIT, and guess what? MIT and MIT and MIT. And I used
part
to
of the Howie
work
test
at
that
MIT
says
and sleep at MIT
He's a
and
nut.
eat at MIT.
Oh shoot! Did I just pass that?
Sorry.
This is so hard to. Hang on a second. I want to see what she says.
Oh God.
Bitcoin mining happens largely in China. A lot of that happens.
So that's starting to shift. That's starting to shift. But
Oh, see, I know that's starting to shift. You know what's not starting to shift? Clarity, Gary. There is no clarity. He's like, oh, we think the Howie. There's plenty of clarity. I mean, he has to say that because otherwise he'll become a major exhibit in the Ripple case. Be like, your chairman was on there saying there wasn't much clarity, and they're like, instead, oh, there's tons of clarity. We have clarity, Jeff.
We got clarity falling all over the place. There's clarity here and clarity there. He brought some clarity from MIT.
So glad we got to
He
listen
keeps
to that.
clarity in the closet. He hangs it up in the closet. He's bringing in some clarity. Keeps
You're
it
nuts.
stuffed in his pockets. Every so often he gets that pair of jeans and there's a couple bills of clarity stuffed in his pocket. He's like, oh, I didn't even know I had this clarity in my pocket.
GDLT says he's protecting the investors. Investors are investing in crap scam ICOs and will soon have a regulatory framework for digital assets. How do we expect them to come up with a policy overnight? We don't. That's the whole point. That's why they shoved it in this infrastructure bill. In the dead of night.
GDLT is 100% spot on. 100% spot on. It shouldn't be developed overnight.
No.
And that Bayer bill that's been sitting there for 3 years, according to Ron Hammond, you look at that and there's some truthful stuff packed in with some of the hidden agenda stuff. And now the infrastructure bill, Chip, it's all hidden agenda stuff, and they just shoved it in there.
By the way, I want to say that FX Scalpers put a super chat in there. I don't think I was able to get to it because it rolled off the screen. So sorry about that, FX. Appreciate that. And I went to grab it, and all of a sudden I was like, "Grip was gone." So that happens. But anyway, Jeff, what an interesting night. I know we spent a lot of time on this, but I thought we needed to dissect it and kind of cut through the hypocrisy. There's no clarity. You both of your commissioners said this 2 weeks ago. He's like, there's plenty of clarity. We know that the Howie test and we could almost go through the top 50 projects and probably dissect them and say, no, there's not. This does not hit this Howie test. Not only that, but it's got to hit all the prongs of the Howie test as well.
Okay. All right. Number one, Chip, Bitcoin.
It's a security.
Number two,
security. That's
number
that
three.
Well, it depends
Do
if
you think
number three
Ethereum is a
XRP
security
or not.
now?
Not now. It's not. It was.
No, at one point when the foundation came out,
Yeah, but I mean,
could have potentially been with their ICO the way they launched it and released it.
I don't think anybody's free right now. I think all they want to do.
How does
is,
Bitcoin fit into the Howie test?
well, the mining pool technically almost might be considered a security. Potentially could be called. I mean, you have the mining pools. There's all kinds of stuff, and then.
But those
The
are
way-
separate business entities. So the
Well,
mining of Bitcoin or Bitcoin on its own can't be a security. But
No.
that specific practice, so they're selling Bitcoin as a security and you're buying it from them with an expectation. But how is that true? Because Bitcoin isn't unique to that mining pool. Bitcoin is global. So that mining pool has no impact whatsoever on the valuation of Bitcoin.
JV.
Same thing with XRP.
JV or J5 the Great. Jeff needs
Yeah.
to give Gensler a few boxes of clarity. Yeah, that's awesome.
Do
A few boxes. Here you go, Gary. I see there's like 1, 2, 3. There's about 16 in the background there.
I got
Is that clarity
Yeah,
in those
actually,
boxes, Jeff?
that's what's in these boxes. These are I'm in,
Figured. Can we figure out a
I'm
way
in
to
the
get that
room
to
of
Gensler?
clarity.
I knew it.
These are boxes of clarity. You want some?
They called it. You are the clarity master. You have all that clarity behind you. Like, here's a couple
got
boxes.
tons of clarity.
And how about
I'm protecting it for Gary Gensler because he said there's clarity. It's everywhere.
why don't we do
I've got
this?
it. Got it all.
Why don't we
right
do
here.
a swap? Why don't we take his arrogance, his snippiness, his dodginess, his nervousness, and we'll exchange it for a little bit of clarity. He's like, there's so much clarity in this space, Jeff.
So much. You should
But
know.
anyway,
with all
listen,
due
Jeff.
respect, you should know.
It all comes down to one thing, and that is decentralization equals freedom. They're running scared. They're running like little, you turn on a light and all the little bugs scatter. That's kind of what we're seeing going on right now. And I want to just remind everybody here, I want to put this up first of all, thanking everybody for the support tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Really appreciate you guys. And also wanted to let you know, Jeff, when do we stream?
Well, if my internet's back, I'll be streaming from my primary location, and I
Clarity?
won't be in this. I'll be in the clarity room.
Okay.
I'll be back in the clarity room
I'm
tomorrow night.
intrigued.
But we stream 6 days a week, actually. You didn't know that, right? It's Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That's
and we
right.
have by far, and I've seen them, by far we have the smartest, most engaged subscribers in all of YouTube crypto land.
And it kind of makes sense, doesn't it, Jeff?
It does.
There's not too many out there. It turns out we are slowest growing channel, so it makes sense. Smartest ones,
right.
It's like
Every
that.
so often they're like, we got to get, they get that wake up call, Chip, and they're like, on the
80-20
chain.
rule.
We're going over to on the chain.
Yeah, the
Like,
80-20
there you
rule.
go. I like it.
Yeah, it all
Explain
works.
what the 80-20 rule is on our way out here.
Well, it's really more like the 95% rule. I mean, 5% of 95% of the intelligentsia comes from the top 5%. Usually it's the 80-20 where 20% of the workforce does 80% of the work, and the other ones are just grifters and clingers. That's what they say.
There you go.
By the way, Kyle Lowry is coming to Miami. Did you see that?
I did not.
Leaving Toronto, heading down to Miami to South
Did they
Beach.
let him out of
Anyways,
Canada? I didn't think they were allowed out of Canada yet.
He's gone.
Apparently they are.
He can't even officially sign until Friday. It doesn't matter. He's already announced it, so it's all good stuff.
Just like that.
Anyway, guys, that's it. That's all we have today. Thank you for being here. We will see you and catch you on the next one. Chip and Jeff from Clarity of Boxes. We're out of here. Have a good one.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.